because it really depends on how much light is around and how dilated the pupil is. Okay. So just try your best to make it look like a donut. Okay, if you center it well, it should look pretty good. And you can fill them in, but again, you might want to leave a little part not filled in, because that is where the reflection is going to be. Okay, so there you go. After you've done the pupil, you can draw those lines. Okay, point them towards the center of the pupil. Again, they should look like the bicycle spokes I talked about earlier. After you're finished drawing those lines, we can bring out an eraser, and remember, the upper eyelid is covering up at least a quarter of your eye's iris, so you won't be able to see the upper part of that circle. Okay. And now I'm going to just erase a little bit of the inner part of each eye and draw in a bit of a tear duct. Okay. I'm going to add an upper eyelid fold right here, and another one here. And if the person has a lower eyelid fold, you might want to add it in as well. But I'm probably making it darker than it actually needs to be, just because I want you to be able to see it in the video. But in your own drawing, you might want to make it a little bit more subtle. Okay? And then once you've done the eyelid folds, you can add in the eyelashes. And again, eyelashes short and curved. And I'm probably not adding enough, but my pencil is a little bit too dull to do very fine hairs. But yours, you can probably sharpen your pencil to get a very fine line. And you know, people have lower eyelid lashes as well, but I don't think I'll be able to make them look very good on my drawing. Now that I've finished both eyes, I will work on the eyebrows. Now I know where they're going to be. I've drawn in a guideline, so I'm going to just erase it, and I'll use very fine hairs and just draw in eyebrows. Okay. Of course, you draw the hairs the way they're pointed, and make the hairs look very thin and subtle, and you should get fairly nice looking eyebrows. Like that. Okay. There's a rule of thumb you can follow. So if you hold your pencil up, connect the outside of the eye to the nose, that tells you roughly where the eyebrows should end. So I'll just test it out. I made one side a bit too long, so I can just erase that, and that should be a little bit better. Now, I've done the nose, I've done the eyes and the eyebrows, but you want the nose to actually appear to have some depth because it's sticking out. So what I usually do is I use a little bit of shading here, and I connect it to, just draw a line here, kind of connect it to the eyebrow, and then I draw another line here. And these lines can be very soft because it's just a subtle reminder that the nose comes out, and afterwards I might just use an eraser and soften up the lines, or one or both lines can be softened, because you just want to be able to see a little bit, not a lot. Okay, so by shading you can give the nose some depth. Outside of the eye, that tells you how wide to make the neck. Okay. And the neck shouldn't be just a straight line. It should be curved a little bit, kind of tapers. Now for this woman's head, I want you to just look at this line. Remember we drew the egg shape? And the top of the egg shape, this is actually supposed to be the scalp. That's not where the hair starts, and it's also not where the hair ends. This is the woman's head, the scalp, and the hair actually would go above the scalp. Okay? And her forehead is right here. So in actuality, her hair could be something like this. Okay, so you'll notice that I've put the hair quite a distance above the scalp, and I've left a little bit of the forehead showing, but not a lot. And it's up to you to decide what kind of hairstyle you want to put on the woman, and if you choose a hairstyle that's long, you might even cover up one or both ears, but for mine, I'll leave at least one ear showing. And once you've kind of sketched in where the hair is going to be, you can erase the egg-shaped line that we had because it's no longer visible. So I'll bring out my eraser and carefully get rid of that line, but just consciously remember where it is, and if you do a good job you can erase all the line and it shouldn't be visible. Now the key to making realistic looking hair is actually to use lots of individual strands. So I already know what kind of hairstyle I want. It's just a matter of getting a pencil and drawing in lots of hairs, and you'll notice that I'm drawing in the direction that the hair is combed, because I want to give the appearance that the hair is not flat and straight, but it's contoured to the shape of her head and according to the style that she's chosen. So using long sweeping curved strokes, you should be able to draw hair, especially if it's long hair. And on this side, I have to do even longer hair because it's flowing across her head. And it really takes a lot of patience to do the hair, okay? It's very tempting to just take shortcuts and, you know, cheat here and there, but if you want a good looking set of hair, you'll want to just spend some time drawing as many fine lines as you can to give it some depth and volume, and the lines have to be curved and flowing to make the hair really look its best. Now, I'm not too sure how I'm going to end this hairstyle, if it keeps on going past her neck and past her shoulders or whatever, but you should have an idea before you start how you're going to end it. But for my demonstration, I just wanted to show you how you draw the hair, and I'm pretty satisfied with the way it is. I can cut it off, or I can have it longer. The final step with any drawing is just get an eraser and clean up some lines. The line representing the cheekbone, you decide whether you want to leave it in or leave it out or just soften it. Okay, it really depends on the woman you're drawing, whether they have pronounced cheekbones or not. But I tend to just erase most of it. I might keep a little bit of it here, but I might soften it using an eraser just so it's subtle and not too pronounced. And with the finishing touches, I'm going to just add a couple of things. The lips often have little wrinkles, so I'll just add some lines, and they're curved, and all that really does is make the lips have texture. And the hair here, if I decide to draw lots of hair, I might even want to erase this ear altogether because it would be hidden behind these strands of hair. But it just depends. And you can add some shading underneath the neck because there would be probably some shadows. Okay, and any other things you want to add, you know, birthmarks, or maybe they have makeup on, you can darken certain things. But overall, this is my finished woman's head, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video and learned some useful tips on how to draw faces.